Okay, so we are on, again, we're going to Michi's book, Endgame Techniques, and we've reached chapter 7. So we've got only 7 and 8 to go. 8, actually, we have more. Actually, there's 9, I think, too. Anyway, 8 is a long one, so 7 is a short one. So this will be, so we can cover this in one session, I think. And the topic for this chapter is what Michi calls playing the holding game. And for this purposes, well, what's shown on the board here is a holding game. It's called a high holding game, or high point holding game, where we've got the 5-point or the 4-point. And what we're really going to be talking about today is the low holding game, which is going to be the ace or the deuce point. And so this is kind of the opposite way we're looking at. We've been looking at, for most of the endgame, we've been looking at bearing in and seeing how do we get off the board without getting ahead and winning the game. Now we're going to look at the other side, where we're the ones under the gun here, sitting on our ace point. And so, the basis of this game are very simple. We're trying to hit black. And if we hit black, we have a decent chance to win, if we hit him soon enough anyway. And if we don't hit black, then we're going to lose. And which is very simple. And the chances of winning here are, I've always thought, surprisingly high. So if we look at XG, well, 10% doesn't look that high, but it's generally, 10 to 15%. If this were better timed, I think we'd be better off here. Yeah, we're up. Yeah, it's about 15%, even though black already has 2 checkers off. So we'll, we have pretty decent shots. As we talked about when we were moving in, bearing off with black, there's basically no way, almost no way to get off without leaving a shot, at least at some point. And I think it was 95% of the time you're going to leave a shot, and so that gives the opponent the chance to hit. Okay, so what are we looking at? Well, there are a couple things that are important to know. The main one is timing. Well, our strategy here as yellow here is to obviously hit black, but in order to hit black and make it of any use to us, we have to develop a prime down here. So we have to one of Michi's first rules, I guess, in this, or proverbs, is always keep a strong board. Because if we have a strong board or prime, and the only difference between a board and a prime is the board is in this segment here. It's in the bearing off segment, and the prime can be going back here. So if we don't have a bad board or a good decent board or prime, we're not going to accomplish anything by hitting. So a key factor here is timing. And so, for instance, in this roll, what's the right play, or what would you do here with the 6-5?
I did 24-13.
Yeah, you're going to run out from the back because we need the timing, and running this checker out gives us more timing. The problem we're going to have is a crunched board. So if we have this type of board, and we only got 3 points here, even if we hit black, we're not likely to accomplish anything, because black can just come right in and race around the board before we can get our checkers off. And 3 is a crunch board, but really we'll find out is, this point, if you have a 4-point board or less, you don't really want to stay to the end. You want to make sure you get off the gammon, which is kind of the second rule, is get off the gammon. Keep a strong board, but if you can't keep a strong board, then you have to get off the gammon. Let's go to the next one. So, here's another one. What do we do with this roll? Well, whoops, sorry about that.
Oops.
I mean, there's only really two things to do.
Yeah.
Have to run.
Yeah, you're going to run or you're going to stay.
I
And
guess
if
we, I guess we run because if we don't run, we break our board.
That's right. So yeah, this one running, staying and breaking the board is a blunder. Because if we don't have the prime, don't have the strong board, we're just, we can't, we're not going to survive that most of the time. Occasionally, but most of the time you're not. Okay. Got another one. Here's one where it's, well, what do you think about this one?
I think I'd run because, he has a even. I guess you probably could wait one more roll.
Yeah.
I guess you could wait one more roll.
Yeah, well, you're gonna want to run. It's, I guess it's still a blunder to not run here. But, the idea is that, and you point out the even, yet Black's in a good position here. I suspect that if you had something like that, it's a little bit closer, but it's probably still right to run. Yeah, I can't tell if it's closer. It's still a blunder. But yeah, if you get into the point where you're going to break your board, we'll see a contrary example. But that's the time to start thinking about running here. And even when Black doesn't have a very good, bearing in structure, it's still right to run. And part of that is, even with a single checker back, you still have some contact possibilities. Black could come up with a 6-5 or something like that, where he's going to be forced to leave a shot. So even with the, he may be forced to hit you on the ace. So
Gary, put the 7 checker on the 8. See what?
Oh, and this one, yeah, that's a good point. That one is probably still right to come out.
Wow.
Yeah, I would, well, probably, let's add another checker here. Let's see if it's still right to come out. It's still right to come out. I would be more tempted to stay there, but that would be wrong. It's still blunder, not quite as bad of a blunder. But again, the trade-off is, once you're down to the near end of your board, of your board starting to crack, it's time to get out. Okay. Let me get to the next one. Okay. Where do we get this one?
I'd do 5-1, 5-2. That'd be me. If you run, you're going to lose.
Yeah. Well, yeah, here's the trade-off here is that, yeah, you run, you lose, but you don't get gammoned. And so that's the trade-off.
Right, but it's still, but you'll still end up with a 3-point. Well, I guess, double ones or, a handful of rolls, he'll end up with a 4-point board. But most of the time, if he makes a point there, it's going to be a 3-point board and you still get in. I guess that's what I would say.
Yeah. Well, this is, yeah. And so it's not intuitive what the move is here. So this is why I would treat this as kind of a reference position where, okay, it's time to get out, but it's not that far wrong to stay. Even with, the 4-point board.
Gary, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you count the shots, like 6, whatever, 6? How do you count the shots that leave a shot for Black?
Yeah, okay, so that's a good one. So, yeah, and we've gone over this a few times before, but we look at, I would start by looking at how far away the last checker is from black's last point. So it's 3. So 3 is going to be a key number here. Now that, you look at that in doubles. So black rolls, 4-3, 5-3, or 6-3. Those leave a shot. Because black has either got to lift and go to the ace point and hit, or black has got, or black will take off for 3 from the 3 point. And so those are your shot leaving numbers. With the even position, big doubles aren't going to cause a problem. So those typically can. If we had this, this type of position, now we would look at 6s, 5s, 4s, and 3s as leaving shots. The technique is to look at the big doubles and see if those matter. But if it's even, that's not going to matter. And then to look at the 3. And if we're here, we would look at 4. So 6-4 and 5-4 are going to cause problems. 4-4 is not. Here 4 and 4-3 causes a problem. So that's the methodology for counting the shots.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Let's look at some more. So this is an interesting one. What do we think here?
Can't really see in these positions see any point in running. We're not going to get gammoned, and even though it's hard to win if we crack our board, it's a bit of a free shot, isn't it? That's the way I'd think about it.
Les, you said something, but you're on mute. So
I agree.
okay, so Ray, say that again. What do you? So do we play or do we run?
I sort of feel if we run, we're going to lose, and we're not risking much of a gammon.
Yeah.
So I just feel like staying.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know we crack our board, but we've still got some chance of winning.
Well,
So
we
that's the way I
cracked it, but
feel
we
about
only we only cracked a 6 point in black. Well, there's a lot of time to run too. Black has 2 checkers off, 13 checkers on. So here it is correct to stay. It's not. It's I guess it's a small blunder. It's not terrible to run. Student plus. Although I guess 0.8 is no great shake. Although surprisingly, look at this dumb move. I don't know who would do that, but this is actually better than running. Let me show the final. Leaving 2 blocks. I guess that gives you another 5 to stick around. Just out of anticipation, this is not a great structure with, there's a gap here and an odd even. So I wonder if this matters. Yeah, here, this.
Okay.
Yeah, Michi didn't point this out. He gave this example, but he didn't point this out. That and Les alluded to it, but you can also look at your opponent's structure. So here he's got a pretty safe structure with the odd. He's, the only shots he leaves are let's see, 4s, 5-4. No, not even 5-4. 6-5, I guess, is the only shot that he's going to leave. So in this case, it's break even to run or to go. And it's interesting that I didn't notice before. Michi doesn't focus on looking at your structure, but obviously it matters here. So here black has more bad numbers, and here the big doubles leave a shot. So 6s, 5s, and 4s are going to leave a shot, and so here it's better to stay. So I don't know.
Gary, after the correct play, can we see the dice distribution fairly quickly? After 6-1, 6-2.
Let's see. I think this is analyze dice distribution. You want to see black's dice, right?
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, so here we've got 6-4 is the worst. Yeah, because you're gonna, because you're gonna, well, this is interesting. 6-4 is the worst because you're gonna take off the 5, and then with the 4, you're gonna take one off, and now you've left. I guess I can't do it, but you're leaving the gap here, so you're gonna have you could have repeaters where you're leaving a shot. So these are all the shot leaving numbers. 5-4 leaves a shot, 6-5 leaves a shot. 4s, 6s, 5s, and okay, 4-3. Here's one that I told you look at. Well, I guess you look at 4 apart, so that's the problem. In this case, it's 4-3. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you got 11 rolls that leave a shot. So yeah, so that's interesting. Michi doesn't talk about that, but that's, obviously that makes a difference. That's why this. Whoops, I've got it. I need to change it. Here we go. So that's why this is even the run or stay, and this is a clear stay. Okay. Another thing that Michi does not talk about, but we actually, it came out in the if you saw Karen's match with Art Benjamin, someone asked the question, and here's a similar situation, except now instead of having 13 checkers, black has only 8 checkers. And so the question is, when do you run? Because you don't really crack your board here. But black has 8 checkers. And so, Art answered it, and the answer is, 8 checkers. If your opponent has 8 checkers, it's time to run to avoid the gammon. Even, I think, if I remember, even 9 checkers, it was close. Yeah, it's still right. Well, yeah, actually wasn't. It's not that close here. I guess because you're breaking your board. Let's see if you don't break your board. Yeah, it's still right to run. It's not terrible here. But generally, if your opponent is down to 8 checkers, it's time to run. And it looks like even 9 checkers. Let's see if we had better hitting chances with this one. Now, it doesn't really matter. It's still right to run. So Art's rule is 8 checkers. That's the rule I learned. It looks like even 9 checkers. By the time you get down to 9 checkers, it's time to run. Now maybe we had the gap here. Let's look at that. Yeah, now it's kind of break even, whether you run or not.
Is the 8 checkers with 1 checker back? What do you have, 2 checkers?
Yes, yeah, with 1 checker back. Oh yeah, well no, if there are 2 checkers back here, then then you really have to run.
But let me ask a question: if you have 2 back, do you want to start running 1? Obviously, it depends upon the situation, but I guess when your opponent gets down to 10, I guess it depends upon the setup.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get here. It probably would have been right to have run earlier, but you're probably, if you use your last roll to bring in your back checker, that's fine, because what you're trying to do here is get off the gammon, or give yourself the best chance to get off the gammon if you don't get the hit. And so here, you're just breaking the board, and you've got decent potential with the single checker back. And so there's no point in having 2 and being at higher risk for the gammon. So the 8 checker rule is pretty simple. It's with the rule. If you've gotten to the point where you've got 8 checkers left, it's time to run. Okay, let's look at another one. And again, this was 9 checkers. So What do you think? Do we run or stay?
Run.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. Here, yeah, we're breaking our board. It's not terrible because it's 9. If it were 8, I think it's even bigger. Because you've got to run. Yeah, it's a huge blunder not to do that. But so I guess maybe the 8 checker rule can be expanded to 9. Okay, I think it's it's. Let's do this. Still right to run. Not running. Here you're by not running, you're still keeping your board. So so it's closer. But so I would say the 8 checker rule, maybe you want to expand, maybe it should be the 9 checker rule, but I've been told there was 8 checkers, and I said that thing too. So anyway, that would be a rule of thumb to look for. Okay. Now there's another situation that we're going to be in. You might, well, hopefully you're not going to be in, but you'll find out. Is and this is when you're, well, what Michi calls too far behind. And what he means by that is that you're so far behind that there's very little chance you're going to get off the gammon here. And so, so what do we do then? Anyone know? Can you articulate what's the strategy then? If we're too far behind, we're not going to get off the gammon. Our only chance is to hit. What do we do with like a roll like this?
Diversify to make a prime.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna, yeah, we're gonna want to make the prime. So we want to fill the 7 point. If we make this the bar point, if we make the bar point and we get the hit, we have a decent shot to salvage the game. And if we don't, then we're going to get gammoned anyway. So if we were just trying to get off the gammon here, we would go 8-6, and that would be one crossover into the home board. And so, but the best play is, okay, slot the point we want, bring a checker into within 6 so that we can cover it next time. As it turns out, any of these other plays, it doesn't really matter. We're so far behind that we're gonna be able to make that bar point before black gets off. So it's not crucial here at this point. But the key is this play 8-7, 8-6, which is right in terms of getting off the gammon if we weren't so far behind, because it brings a checker into the home board, is wrong here, and very wrong, because we're not going to get off the gammon. Okay. And this.
If you roll with, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna ask if you could free one of your back checkers. Let's say it was a 6-1.
Yeah.
Would you just want to keep adding more?
Yeah.
Or keep 3 back and?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I would. Well, let's look at the answer. I would clear one back, because we can always make this at some point, and the answer is no. XG says no. You make the point now. 16. I don't see your move from 24 yet. 24 is blunder. I'm surprised that that's that big of a blunder, because, well, but the idea is that we want to make that point. That's really important. By the time we're not at risk here of not being able to get our back checker out, because if we roll high numbers, we'll get one out. If we roll low numbers, the checkers we have will stay in position. This to me though is bizarre, because we could make.
Well, let me ask.
Point.
I guess my question is: do you want to, if you kept you had three back there.
Yeah.
You have one attacker, and then you can still hold an anchor on the 1 point.
Yeah.
Does that make
Well,
any sense?
Yeah, that does, but that's not the right strategy.
Okay.
Because you don't really want to hold, you don't necessarily want to hold an anchor on the 1 point for a couple of reasons. One is that you're going to be that you're going to want to bring around as many checkers as you can to establish your prime and to roll it forward. And then, look what happens. Let's say you put black on the bar here. Oops. And this one is gone. And black comes in with a 1-4. Or even a 1-3. So if black comes in with a 1-4, well, actually it's the 1-4 that matters. The 1-3. Well, look what happens if you get a 1-4. He comes in with the 1. And what does he do with the 4? Okay.
How
He
about
can't move
how
the
about
four.
one? How about
Okay.
1-3?
Yeah, well, 1-3. Okay, that's fine. He comes in with the 1. But now look at if we have the checker, if we have just one checker. Now he comes in with a 1-4. And look what we got. He's forced to hit. Now you've got a double
Okay.
shot from the bar.
Okay.
Okay, so the combination of those two things, you don't want to leave that. You don't want to leave that anchor there
Okay.
once you've hit him. Because
Got it.
you're going to want to bring all the checks you can to roll your prime forward, and then you get kind of things like this. And here, even the 1-3, he's going to either break his 5 point, 5-2, and give you a shot there, or he's going to come in and hit you, giving you the ace from the bar.
Well, he played into the 22 and then go 4-3.
Actually, that's
or three.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
But
So
nevertheless, yeah. No, I get it.
right. But yeah. If you had this, you might have this situation too. So don't focus on keeping that anchor there. In fact, it's probably wrong to get the anchor there.
Okay.
Okay. In a similar line, we get positions like this, where black is only Michi calls this the last single line. Okay, and so what's the right play here, and why?
You have to run so you can be hit.
That's right. We've got to take off the back checker. And the idea is we're not trying to escape the gammon here or doing anything funky like that. We are trying to get hit, because if black rolls a 1, he's going to hit. Now we're on the bar, and an ace from the bar, puts us back in the game. And so basically anything, I don't know why, oh, well, yeah. Well, I guess there's only one play that isn't blunder, which is running all the way. I'm not sure why this is so much worse than this. But in any case, the main idea is in this situation is kind of like with the why you don't want the anchor there, is that you want black to get a bad roll and be forced to get you. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, if he rolls a double, you don't want to have 2 checkers in his board.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why. Thank you, Jacob. This breaking the anchor here doesn't get you out 24-20, and you really want to get out there in case he rolls a couple of jokers. So he's got 6 checkers here. If he rolls a big double, any doubles except 1s, he's going to take 4 checkers off, and you're left with 2 checkers. Which I think we have an example like this. So yeah, so if you come out here, this is the 24/7. Okay, now we're looking to to get off the gammon here, because we're likely to get backgammon here if we don't. So if the previous play, we came out to here, and then black rolled his doubles, now we have a chance, we just need a 6 or better to get off the backgammon. If we kept our checker here,
Yeah.
now we need a 6 and a 2 or better to get off. And so, the chances of the number of rolls that are 6 or better is a lot. The number of rolls that are 6 and 2 or better is not that many. And so, if we didn't take our checker out, we'd be at significant risk of getting the backhand. So, okay.
Yeah, Gary, I have a question going back to too far behind. And the question is, in the example you gave me, you were trying to make the prime, but when are you trying to make the prime, and when are you trying to move checkers forward in order to close out your inner board in that situation?
Well, it sort of depends on your role here. Here we've got a 1, so you're going to want to, make that prime. Here, in this case, we're so far behind. We still have 3 checkers back, and black has 2 checkers off. That we want to make the prime first, and then if we can, roll it forward by getting the 3-point, then we'll do that. I suppose if we got, we had double 5s. You might make the 3-point now. Although I think maybe bringing the back checker around would be better. Let's see. Yeah, it's bringing one around. It looks like it's both. Bring one out and make 5 prime. So, it depends on your role that you get. Whether you have, if you get the big doubles, it may make sense to do it forward. I would be tempted to even not do that, but do something. Well, I guess and I would be wrong. All these plays make the 3-point. It looks like making the 3-point here is superior. So I guess because there's no roll that gives you a better chance to make the bar with the 5s, because these 2 come down here. 16 to 11 does a little bit. Let's look at 24, 19, 16, 11. Yeah. So I guess the answer to the question is it depends. I mean, in the original roll that we had, it's a weak roll, and you got all these checkers back, so you might as well slot the bar now to make that, and then if you can get, you'll have timing to roll it forward if black dilly-dally is getting off. Whereas the double 5s, you could make this point, so yeah, that was strong to make that point. Okay. Here's good. Yeah, this is one. Here's another example. Okay, we have the single line, and we've already run. Okay, so we've got a 7. Do we stay back, or do we run out? I guess we could make the 6 prime here too with 10 to 3. But what do you think?
Give it one more shot, stay back, right?
That's what I would do.
Right.
Make
Okay.
this prime. If you make the prime, you have a chance to win.
Yeah. Well, this is
Or at least not gammon.
yeah. Well, it's a good thing we went over this then. It's a huge blunder to stay back.
Oh.
And the reason is that there are 5 rolls here that give you the backgammon. 6 double 6s, 5s, 4s, and 2 give you a backgammon. Or actually, they'll gives your opponent the backgammon against you. So, so that this is an important one. Let's look behind. This is a famous example. Okay, what about this one?
Well, it's well known to stay.
Yeah, this one is famous enough to have its own name. It's called the coup classique. Okay, and it's when you have 3 checkers here. Now, like the one we just saw, you've got you know, there are five numbers that give your opponent the backgammon against you. And so that's pretty dangerous. But we'll show you, it is correct to stay here. I guess it doesn't matter much you do, but coming off is a big blunder. Look at the size of that blunder. Wow. Some of these things always surprise me. You know, 0.448 blunder to come off from the 24 point. Whereas if we add the checker here, it's at least a 0.14 blunder to stay. Okay, and the reason is this is an even number of checkers. So so you've got 5 numbers that give you the backgammon right away. The same as with the 3. What's your best chance though? If you stay, what's a roll that black roll that will give you a chance?
Anything with a 1.
Yeah, anything with an ace, anything with a 1. But then now yeah, you know, any number with 1 out of the double ones gives you the shot from the bar. Let's look at this one. Now what are the good rolls for you? Well,
Everything but doubles.
I'm sorry. Well, there's the 5 doubles that get black off right away in your backgammon. But let's look at all the other rolls. You know, 6-5. Okay, there's 6-5. Okay, you got a shot. 6-4, shot. 6-3, shot. You know, 6-2. Shot. So you go through any number, any normal number leaves at least a shot for you from the ace point. But let's look at, you know, 6-1, 6 off. Okay, double shot. All right. So you know, now if you get the double shot, let's suppose you come in with a 1-4. What are you gonna do? You're gonna come in off the bar. Black goes on the bar. Okay. Let's say you move your 4 up here. Yeah. Now what kind of game do you have? Let's look at this. Okay. Now you're a favorite to win, 57% to win here. And why is that? Well, suppose your opponent dances. What happens if you get a 1? Now your opponent has 2 on the bar. What's your chances of winning here? It's 60%. And you know, you feel this, you get the 6 prime, and you're almost looking at a cube. It's not quite a cube yet. But you close your opponent out. And now you're getting it close to a cube. So, you know, you went from here, or something like this, where your chances of winning, whoops, oh, I
So you
took
got 2 on the bar. Yeah.
I took 2, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. So you went from here, where your chances are 10%, to here, you know, where your chances are 62%. Okay. So again, these you need to remember because they're very important. They do happen. And actually, the first time I saw this, I got it wrong, to the disgust of my opponents, because I didn't understand it. But with with 3, and this is worth remembering. With in fact, Michi had a chart on it. You know, with 2 here, and you're on roll. Okay, you're going to run. Actually, I don't know if you run if you don't get I don't think you run here. Because you didn't get out, you're gonna get gammoned anyway. So I think you stay back here, yeah. Because your only chance here is to get hit, is that he rolls a 1 and then you want the chance to hit him. Okay, but so anyway, with But if you had the 6, then it's a clear run, and anything else is a blunder. It's a huge blunder, actually, because you're going to get backhanded if you don't run. There's a good chance you'll get backhanded if you don't run. So 2, you run. 3, you stay. 4, you run, and 5 or more, you're going to stay. So that's that's worth remembering, and it's not hard to think out if you know what to look at. So it's the low even numbers that give black a big chance to backgammon you, and so you want to run. The 3 gives you still have the backgammon chances, but you have a whole lot of rolls. In fact, most of the rolls will give you a shot next time. And at minimum, if you get the shot and can hit it, you'll get off the gammon. And if your opponent happens to roll a 1, you may get 2, and you may be able to redouble him later and win the game. Okay, so I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for this chapter. I had one bonus quiz. Let's see if we can get this. So what do we do here? Okay, so what do we got? We got 2 checkers back, ace-point game. What are we looking at? Well, is it worth? Should we be staying? Should we think about staying, or should we be thinking about running?
Well, we got a crushed board, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
fresh board. So we want to run.
yeah.
Really? I mean, if you roll double 6s, I mean, you can use those double 6s to come on with the 13 and the 15. And then if he rolls like, 6, 5, 5, 6, you have a chance of hitting, not getting gammon. Well, I guess you're not gonna get, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, with the 3-point board,
Yeah.
your chances of winning the game are really small, and so you're going to want to run with this. And the question I would have is, okay, you could run with both, or you could run with one. And in this case, it's right to run with both, just because this board is so weak, and with you've got 3 checkers, maybe you can make another point, but that's not going to help you that much. So it's right to run with both. Here's the highest play that runs with just one, and you can't accomplish anything that's going to help you very much with just the 3 checkers to make those 3 points. Okay, so that's it for today. And next time we'll start looking at what Michi calls the advanced ideas on this. Okay, so
Gary, excuse me.
yeah, go ahead, Les.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now good.
What are the odds of a gammon if you run in that example?
Okay, he's got 12% gammons, 11.7. If you do the preferred play, I guess this was the preferred play. Yeah, about 11.5%. Whereas if you stayed with one, it's 20%. And you got 2% wins. Here, I
Thanks.
don't think you have any wins. Yeah, 0 wins. Oh, 0.5 wins. Or 0.05 wins, I mean. So, yeah. So, I mean, you do have. I suppose if this was DMP, 6-6. Then you need to win. So your only chance to win really is to stay. But again, if it doesn't matter whether you give up the gammon or not, then you stay. But to avoid the gammon, you're gonna wanna run. All right, so let's go get on with the Chouette. Oh, let me stop recording.